Welcome to the Chaos Alchemist podcast. I am Steve McHale, and today we have Darshan Gabriel Shanti. He is a transformational speaker, poet, comedian, and founder of Saving Our Veterans, a fellow veteran like myself. His mission is to help reduce veteran suicide by bringing hope, healing, and purpose to those who feel lost. Drawing from his military service, personal struggles, transformational journey, he uses heartfelt conversations, poetry, and humor to help veterans move from trauma to triumph and remind them that even in their darkest moments, there is still a reason to stay, as you can see from the emblem behind him. Welcome, and thanks for being here. Darshan, good to see you again.
Well, thank you, Steve. I'm honored to be here. I've been looking forward to this. Anything we can do to help get the word out and help save lives, I'm all for it.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. So, and as you've been doing with your awesome fucking poems, like getting those out there, the couple that I have on my wall there, along with all my other military stuff. So, why don't you give us a little background about, how this all came to be, like how you got into the military and transitioned to being a transformative speaker and poet and so many fucking different things.
Well, the story is that things were quite rough for me in the military. I was a medic. I was trained to save people's lives, and I didn't get along with people. I had a really rough time in the military. I mean, rough. In fact, my own unit voted me most likely to be killed by them because they figured they'd be safer off with me if I was dead than if I was alive, even though I was trained to save their lives. So they were like taking bets like who was going to take me out if we ever went to war. Can you imagine living with that? Every day was such a struggle, and it just went on and on and on, day after day, week after week, month after month. Very rough times, like not feeling secure, wondering if I was going to get the hell beat out of me, wondering what was going to happen every day. And that was what my life was like in the military. I was out in the field all the time trying to help other people. At least I wasn't with the guys that wanted to kill me. That was good.
That's helpful.
It's always helpful, yeah.
Fuck them guys.
So, did 3 years active in the Army from 87 to 90. Then I spent 5 years in the National Guard from 90 to 95. I never could get promoted, and I just said, oh, the heck with this. I did my service. I helped. I really liked it. When I went in, I thought I was going to do it for a career. And then when I saw what it was like and experienced it, it wasn't for me. Now, let me be clear about something. I do not regret one day that I served. It was an honor to serve, and I would have gone to war whether I was going to be killed by my own guys or not. It was a privilege, and it was a duty that I took on. And saving our country, keeping our country free was very, very important to me. And so even though the military itself, the Army wasn't for me, just my personality and what have you, I am very, very glad I served. It was one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my entire life. So there's the military end of it. Then I got out, kept going, why is my life so messed up? Why is nothing working? Started going to college, taking a lot of psychology, I should say, courses, a lot of personal development courses. I mean, a lot, like years and years worth. Everything I could read and every workshop I could go to, I went. I didn't even have a TV for 5 years. I purposely gave it up so that I could study and learn and grow and perfect who I was as a person and undo some of the horrible stuff that I had learned, growing up, some of um the ways of thinking, the self-doubt, the insecurity, the fears and all of that that caused me to act the way I acted. I said, this is not working, not having any friends, not having any girlfriends, not being successful. I need to figure this out. And so that's what I did. I went on a multi-year journey of learning about me. And then the more I learned, the light bulb started going off in my head. Like, my God, is that why? Is that why? Like the first book I ever read was The Power of Positive Thinking from Norman Vincent Peale. And like all these light bulbs started going off in my head, like, because I always blamed everybody else for everything that was going wrong in my life. And when I realized that I had one finger going out, but three fingers coming back, I better start looking at myself. And so I did. I started taking responsibility. And as I learned and grew, then I realized, wait a minute, I'm no different than other people, or no people, the other people aren't different than me. And if I've gone through this, then other people are, and maybe I can help them and cut their learning curve way down so they don't have to go through the years of trauma and pain and suffering that I went through. And so after years and years of doing it, I started coaching, and then I started doing workshops, and then I started speaking. So doing transformational leadership programs. And then I wrote a book and published it in 2009 called The 24-Hour Champion, Becoming Free Through Self-Discovery. And so then I just kept doing all the work, and then I got burnt out because I was working harder than my clients because I wanted their success, regardless of what they said, more than they did. And I said, "Well, I don't want to do this anymore," which then led to the poetry. After like 15 years of doing the leadership stuff, I'd always been writing poems. I had a gift. My first poem I wrote when I was like 18 and 17. And since then, I've written over 2,000 uplifting and inspiring poems. And I started writing poem after poem after poem and started helping people. And all my poems are personal development. They're all uplifting. They're all inspiring. They're all, you can do this. I believe in you. You got to believe in yourself kind of stuff. They're inspirational messages that just happen to rhyme. And then it goes into the comedy. I've always had a sense of humor. Every day it's my goal to make people laugh, to make people feel better, to feel good, to be happier, to have fun. And so I do a lot of comedy. I've done stand-up comedy. But then I realized, wait a minute. And so almost a year ago, depending on when this airs, the date was May 30th of 2025. I was in a major rollover car accident. I swerved to avoid hitting a deer, and the vehicle rolled over multiple times. And it was 11 o'clock or so at night. It was on a 2-lane highway about 100 miles south of Canada, and it was in Montana. And we rolled over, and I don't know, by the grace of God go I, because my head hit the roof because the roof crushed in on my head. Took over 100 stitches to put my head back together. And I messed up my hand really bad. So this is what my hand looks like. This is what a normal hand looks like. And this is what it looks like. Hold on, I gotta try. There's a scab. I mean, not scab, a scar that runs through it. I can move my fingers about that much. So I broke a whole bunch of bones in my wrist and my arm. The whole arm was road rash. The window broke, and I guess it came out the window somehow. So, like I said, it was 11 o'clock at night, and there by the grace of God go I, because one of the cars behind me that late at night was an off-duty emergency medical technician.
Nice.
They were able, I tried to climb out through the window. The vehicle was on its side, and I was trying to use my hand to my hand wouldn't work. I was in no pain. I mean, none. And yet I broke at least 6 bones in both arm bones, bones in my fingers and my wrist, just in my hand, whatever. And it wouldn't work. I couldn't use my right hand enough to get out. So they were able to pull the windshield apart, and I climbed out through the windshield. By the way, this is after helping the other guy get out. He was the passenger and I was helping him, and I pushed him out with my legs. And then I'm trying to get out. And before I got out, for whatever reason, I put my hand on top of my head and I looked at my hand and I was like, fuck. I mean, it was covered in blood. And I was kind of half out of it, and I did it again. I'm like, yep, I'm bleeding. I better get some help. So I get out of the vehicle, and the guy helps, and he sits down with me, and he asked his, I don't know, girlfriend or something for a blanket. He wraps me up. He sat right behind me on the road. I'm sitting like this. He's right behind me, and he's got the blanket wrapped around me, holding me because I was shivering. You know, I was losing a lot of blood and it was cold. Yeah. And they called the ambulance. I don't know who called the ambulance. And the ambulance came and they got me stabilized in the first hospital. Then they had to airlift me via jet.
Damn.
To the hospital that took care of me, because they didn't have the ability to take care of me at the first hospital. So I had surgery that morning. They put my hand back together. In a sense, it was good. I had no plates, pins, screws, nothing. They were able to put it together, but my tendons shortened and there's a whole bunch of scar tissue, and that's why my hand looks like this. My head healed really, really well. I had a TBI, but I have some memory challenges here and there, but no personality. I guess people were hoping it would knock some sense into me, but it didn't. So right now I'm a little shorthanded, but you know what? I'll get a grip on things eventually. I think I'm handling this quite well.
I mean, you got from the what I've seen before of it. Yeah, it's coming along quite well for, yeah. Like you couldn't do shit with that before.
No, nothing. In fact, you couldn't even touch it. It was so incredibly sensitive. No hype. Like this tiny little what I'm doing, it could not. Nothing could touch it. It was, and it wasn't just my fingers, it was my whole hand. And parts of it, because the nerves got all cut, where it was like dead. Like I touched the side of my thumb, and it was like it wasn't even my thumb. Everything atrophied so much. When I would look at this hand, it didn't even look like it was my hand. It looked like it was a little kid. It was so tiny. Now it's coming back. So I tell you all of that because this has had a pivotal effect on me. I'm like, what do I want to do with my life? You know, I've been given a second chance. What do I want to do? I've been helping people for a long time. And then all of a sudden, like I've been working and helping veterans, and all of a sudden it just like hit me. I'm like, that's who you're supposed to help. You're supposed to help veterans to find their hope again, to find their purpose again, to get them a mission to live again, to turn their trauma into triumph, to help save their lives. Because so many of them, the statistic now, the latest, is only, I say only, because it used to be 22. The latest statistic I read is it's about 17 a day. Think about that. Those 17 a day.
Yeah.
Well, call it 18, call it 20, whatever. 600 a month, 550 a month. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, more people have died by a suicide than they did in the whole Afghan war. When you think it's insane. I'm like, whatever they went through, my goal is to help them to believe and value and respect and like and love and honor and cherish themselves. Because when they do that, they're not wanting to kill themselves. That's a long answer to your question, but that's it.
I mean, it's important stuff. Like it's a beautiful thing to take that whole trip through all of that and come out to this end for sure. And I wasn't aware that the statistic had, I mean, at least it's dropped. Last I didn't hear it. It went down from 22 a day. So that's good. But again, regardless of what the number is, it's, as you said again, there's been more of that than who have died in the fucking war.
So you say, and by the way, we don't really even know that statistic, how accurate it is, because they don't know every veteran who takes their life. About half of the veterans aren't even in the system.
Yeah.
So it could be a lot more than that. In fact, it could be double that. But I'm just telling you what the official statistic is.
Yeah. Well, we know how official things are.
Yeah, officially speaking.
Yeah. So, but right. Again, either way, it doesn't really fucking matter. The point is it needs to be, taken care of. And, to your points, when it comes to, I think something that I've noticed with it personally is, more than anything, guys, speaking from experience, like want to just listen or be listened to. And I think part of the thing that we as veterans don't do enough is, like, I see so much of guys, because they care, and it's coming from a good place. Because they care, they want to help, right? And so they think helping is more giving advice and like trying to do this or try that or blah, blah, blah. But again, from what I've seen more than anything, it's just listening. I had a firsthand experience with that with a guy years back. We were at a event and he was in a bad spot, and it was me and like 3 other guys out there, and we're just standing there talking, and everybody's talking at him, and I'm just standing there observing. And finally he had enough, because he was trying to express how he felt and shit. Finally he had enough, and he's like, hey, you guys just fucking go, right? Like I don't need to be told what to do and this and that. And I was just like, I'm just here to fucking listen, dude. And he's like, yeah, no, you can stay. So like, we just fucking sat there and I just fucking listened, because more than anything, that's what people want. And what comes up for me with that also is, I think one of the big problems is we don't listen to ourselves. So we want people to hear us. We want to be heard, but that also goes for us in general. Like, how often do you refuse to listen to what you're saying internally? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something that needs to be more addressed in the realm of this whole context as well.
Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Right.
You're absolutely right. People want to be heard. We all want to be heard and valued and appreciated and listened to and respected. And that's one of the key things, is just listen, reach out. I mean, just reaching out to veterans alone to say, hey, I'm here. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? It's amazing what that will do alone.
Yeah.
Just reaching out. There's several veterans I reach out to all the time that have gone through a lot of stuff and have considered suicide. And I just reach out to them all the time and let them know every time, I'm here for you 24/7. Whatever you need, whenever you need it, just call. And then I'll reach out, at regular intervals.
Yeah.
So, and that's a big thing. It's human nature.
Yeah. And I mean, like you're saying, actually doing the reaching out, because so many guys are just like, if you need something, say something. Well, people in that situation don't want to. They're not willing to, coming from personal experience. Like you don't have an interest in reaching out to somebody. So if you're not being reached out to, then there's a more of a likelihood of, something happening, because again, most people that are in that mindset, they're not going to. And then it's just that simple. Like, not to say all, obviously, but yeah, it's definitely a good thing to encourage people to do, to be proactive versus telling the other person, why would you tell somebody that's in a bad space to be the proactive one? You're burdening them even more by saying that when they're trying to remove burden.
100%. You couldn't have said that any better. And for anyone who's listening, remember that. Do the reaching out. Do the reaching out. Do the reaching out. Did I say do the reaching out yet? Let me be clear. Do the reaching out. You are the one that can help make a difference. Don't put it on the veteran. You could save a life just by making a phone call, just by caring, just by listening and not offering advice. Just say, I'm here for you, brother. Talk, or sister, whatever. Talk as long as you need. I got you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's got a lot to say along with that poem that you wrote about the whole situation as well.
You mean stay?
Right.
I'm walking to close. They'll probably cut this out. Closing my door so that the dogs don't start barking. If you want, I can share stay with everybody.
Yeah, if you'd like to, by all means.
I would love to. Something had me write this poem a while back. I was just so tuned in and tapped into what's going on and what words could I say. This poem just flowed out of me. And now we're working on getting it in the VA all over the country, every single VA. And then they can give it out to all the different departments and give it out to whoever needs it. And this poem, I know, will save lives. So here it is. Again, it's called Stay. Suicide is not the answer, and it never will be. Because from the past, you can set yourself free. No matter if you're feeling really down or full of doubt, I can tell you this for sure. There is another way out. And even if you're feeling empty or you're depressed, even if you're angry and really stressed, or you're feeling hopeless, helpless, and lost, you've already paid too high a cost. So I only ask this of you today. Please give your life another chance and stay. Because you're worthy, wanted, and your story needs to be told. You're loved, you're needed, and we want you to grow old. You're vital, necessary, and appreciated. You're far too amazing for your life to be abbreviated. You are priceless, an immeasurable treasure. Your value is so immense. There is no measure. You've got this. It's just one small step at a time, and your life can get better at the drop of a dime. So don't ever give up and don't ever give in. Don't let what happened get the best of you and win. So this I promise you from my heart and from my soul. It may not look like it now, but you have a vital role. And on a final note, from a veteran who's just like you, I decided to stay. And I hope you do too.
Love it every time. I just keep hearing you.
Thank you for that. It's that feeling that every veteran who reads it, it touches their heart. It feeds their soul. And it reminds them that they still have a purpose. That everything that they've done has led them up to where they are to launch a brand new life. And that the past doesn't have to control them anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a simple concept, and yet it's not easy.
That's true. It's not easy. And on the other end of it, I love that it's simple, but it's not easy. So it's simple to understand, but it's not easy to actually put into practice in your life. And that's why we're here. That's why people like me are here, to lock arm in arm with each and every person I am here to serve and to go on that journey with them so that they know they're not alone, so that they know they're valued and appreciated. And if somehow, some way that I can love and care and value and appreciate and respect them enough when they don't do it for themselves to begin with, then eventually something will sink in and they will start to learn to love and value and appreciate themselves. It's a one small little decision at a time. As Jack Canfield, one of the famous people who created the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, he said, little hinges swing big doors. And that's exactly it. One little thing, one little shift of thought could start a cascade of more positive and more positive and more positive and get people out of those holes they've been in, that negative spiral, that deep, dark depression. One little tiny thing, even if it's just somebody cares about them. And over time, that process, everything starts to sink in, and then they can then gain leverage on themselves, gain leverage on their thought processes. And then once they gain leverage, anything is possible. Once they're not under that boulder, that heavy weight of depression, and they have a little bit of light coming in, that's where the shift happens.
Yeah. And that's exactly right. It's because we're always, not always, but most oftentimes we're in a loop, like you're saying, but it just is generally a negative thought loop. So once you can perpetuate that positive thought loop, then everything starts to change for sure. It's just
Agreed.
yeah. It's just, again, simple, not easy.
The negative thought loop, this is what's cool about it. All the negativity is learned. It's all the things you've told yourself about whatever it is that happened. And anything that you have learned, you can then unlearn or relearn something different.
Right.
Your past is a sentence, but a sentence can be a very, very short period of time. It doesn't have to be a life sentence. You can, once you, like I said, gain that leverage and get out from under that weight, you can start thinking about yourself, your life, your past in a little different way. As I say in another one of my poems, your past has passed. It's over. It's through. Your life begins now. It's waiting for you. And that's the point. When people realize they are not their past, they are not their thoughts, they are not their emotions, they are not what happened to them. And then they can gain that leverage because it's what they do about it results in who they be about it leads to what they do about it, which leads to what they have, who they become in their life. So if who they are right now is dark, depressed, trauma, terrible, whatever, low, negative, spiral, awful, this is shit, I don't want to live anymore. And then that one little piece of light gets in. Because the cool part about a candle is no matter how dark a room is, one little candle can lighten it doesn't matter how dark it is. The darkest of dark everywhere. And one candle will brighten up the room so much. One little piece of information, one shift in perspective, one new thought, one new emotion that goes from I can't to maybe it's possible. That's the beginning of changing everything.
Absolutely. I mean, that was just that simple little shift for me when I was in that space. Like, it went from, thinking about being like, I knew, I was so certain that my kids would be better off without my fucked up head. But then that little fucking tidbit of what if they wouldn't be? What if they would be better off with me, even if I am fucked up? And then that just kind of started perpetuating itself and was enough to help me stay. So, and here we are now, able to fucking talk about this shit 11 years later. And I am so grateful that I've gotten to see them grow, even through all the painful shit that we've still gone through. And, you know, them despising me for being a fucking terrible dad, which I don't disagree with, you know, to certain extents, you know, in the past. And every now and then still have a fucking flare up, right? Because we're not fucking perfect, but it's been a long process and it's been worth every fucking penny because I love watching them grow. I love experiencing, you know, everything that life has unfolded in that time. And yeah, it's just that one little shift.